Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. I was walking down the street the other day and I saw through the window this box. It was part of a little display with Wicked stuff in one of these like everything for £1 or £2 places. I didn't actually see what was inside the box because this was from quite some distance. And because this is a channel where we mostly do ponies, yes, it's going to be a Wicked pony. One of two at least, because I do want to do Glindas. But we'll see, maybe there are more. I was pretty impressed with everything that came inside this box, because this was something like $4, the equivalent of $4. But if you have any ideas for what to do with the little figure, let me know, because maybe we can paint it in some other way. But we're going to use the box for this project. And yeah, from the thumbnail you probably guessed, it's going to be Elphaba, and it's going to be a pony inspired by the movie version. Since at the time of recording this, the second movie is about to come out. Now, I had much bigger plans, I will let you know now, but I ended up hurting my hand. You will see different stages of how my hand is healing, the process of healing, but I had to cut down my plans, and it's going to be a slightly shorter video, but hopefully you still enjoy it. So let's cover this area here to prepare the box, and let's get started. The first thing I had to decide for this project was which pony pose I was going to use. And my starting point were these designs by Binary Chipmunk. You can find the link in the description. And there are quite a few good options. So I was thinking, okay, what should Elphaba look like? And my favorite pose of this was actually the unicorn. This is the buttons pose, and I love the shape, but I also feel that maybe because it was green, I thought, yeah, this could be Elfie. And thus the journey of trying to modify this model in Blender began. So I will make things short, because if I showed you everything I did, it will take a very long time. But basically, I thought, okay, let's remove the horn. That should be easy enough. And then we will just print the pose using my new wonderful machine that I will show you soon. But I am not a Blender person or a 3D person, so I tried a lot of different things. Like I said, in the end, the event went something like and then my friend Author of Lore said, hey, what's up? And I symbolically cried and I asked for advice on how to do things, and she was really nice and tried to explain step by step, but I just didn't get it. And eventually I was commenting like, oh, I really like this pose, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna figure it out. But how cool would it be if it was actually the truly pose? Because I think that will be a much better fit. And of course, because she's the nicest person in the world, she did the pose that same day and she sent me the files. She is incredible. So please go check her channel out, because she's the most talented YouTuber I know, one of the most talented people overall I know. And she has, like I said, a channel and a Ko-fi account, and you can download these poses and other poses, and most of them are free. She's a great contributor to the community, and she knows so much. She recently did this comic I absolutely love and relate to. Okay, next step. Okay, now that we have our pose, all we need to do is print it out. And like I said, I got this new toy. I got a new toy and it's one of my favorites already. This is, well, we are preparing this file to use our filament printer. This is the first time I have like a proper filament printer, 3D printer. And because I am a very clumsy, I'm not a very organized person, using this printer instead of the resin printer has been a game changer. Because I don't need to clear resin. Resin is very dangerous and it shouldn't touch your skin and you shouldn't breathe around it. So yeah, very happy with this printer. I'll show you more soon. But first, let's download a hat. I did not trust myself to make a hat. I know I should have, but I went to Cult and I searched for witch's hat. I found this amazing model. I just downloaded it. And because this time I had practice, I actually did follow Author of Lore's advice and I managed to make the holes for the ears in the hat. I mean, this is like lesson 2 of how to use Blender. I think lesson 1 is how to move the camera around. Lesson 2 is how to create holes using other objects. But I did it. And I'm quite proud of myself because I went back. I tried until I figured out, and yeah, it worked. I don't know. Maybe the other model had some issues, because I think the other model was a scan, the first one I tried, and it had so many polygons, and they were like polygons that were broken. I don't know, but it worked. This worked. So let's print everything. Yay. Okay, it took us some time to get here, but finally we're going to print. The filament I will be using is called Aurora Green, and it's the most beautiful thing in the universe, and I want to marry this filament and have babies with it. And not in a heteronormative or biological way, because I cannot have children and this is actually filament. Anyway, we're going to be using the FlashForge AD5X. This is not a sponsored video, but if you're watching this today, the day before Black Friday, I just checked and there is like $100 or £100 discount. So yeah, if you're thinking of getting a machine, maybe I would seriously consider this one, because I am just blown away by the quality and the speed. This you're seeing now is 100% speed. This is the real speed, and it's so fast. I want to swear, but I'm not going to. It's so fast. And this filament, the green filament, well, you will see the results. I'll let them speak for themselves. But I do want to share one thing, and it's that I'm thinking of creating some new pony poses, and you will be able to get this if you want from the shop. And I think I figured out a good technique for rehairing if you don't have good motility in your fingers, like if you cannot do precise movements, or if you don't want to try rehairing. I have an alternative technique. So I will tell you more about this in the coming sections. For now, let's finish printing some of these things, and I can't wait to show you what they look like. Oh my god. After some consideration, I did decide to use the same filament for the hat, because we're going to paint it, but in case, you know, there are some like holes in the painting, then there will be green underneath. Also, Elphaba is green underneath too. Right, so before I forget, if you want to replicate something like this, like I said, I left all the links in the description, and this is a 0.4 nozzle, if you're curious about the quality of the print. Let me show you again the real-time speed. And also the tray, this golden tray, it makes me think of Apollo missions. I don't know, Apollo missions, yeah, lunar landers and stuff like that. It's beautiful. Alright, it's time to look at our prints and start working on the hat. The first thing we need to do is remove all of these supports. By the way, you can find both of these tools in the shop on Etsy, and also on my new website that I will tell you more about later. The first thing I noticed was you can't really see the lines when you're using this type of filament. You have to look very close, and obviously some areas, yeah, it is more clear, but generally speaking, it looks so smooth. I was very, very surprised, because this is not the smallest nozzle you can use. There is a 0.25, I think. Little spoiler for an upcoming project. I realized that I can actually use these leftovers for this little Polly Pocket inspired cottage I'm working on. One of my maybe unreasonable worries about using this type of machine is the leftover plastic. I don't want it to become microplastics in the ocean, so I'm trying to reuse everything. All the materials you see on the channel, I try to reuse. These are perfect for this little project. They're going to be branches in the little house, and it's an alchemist's house. And I was quite stuck with the green stuff. I wasn't sure if I will be able to make it work, but I think these are perfect. If you have any ideas for the other little stringy things when the machine changes the color of the filament, please let me know. I'm not sure what to do with those. Try is I kept talking in the background while I was doing this. I don't normally talk when I'm recording, but I was very, very happy. So yeah, let's remove the rest of the body. I'm not going to show you everything. The clicky sounds are interesting. Maybe that can go in the light channel. You know, there is a second little channel. Maybe I can upload the uncut version of cutting support. Is that something that might be like relaxing to watch? I'm not sure. Oh, hang on. I just am rewatching this, and what if the alchemist house that we have in the other one has a creature? This creature. And maybe the twirly bits can be the hair of the creature or the fur of the creature. I can't wait to do that one now. Okay, let's go back to removing supports. And did you think I was not going to talk about Wicked in this video? Of course I'm going to talk about Wicked. If you have watched some of my other stuff, you might remember that I love musicals. I am the worst, hello Tommy, possible singer. I cannot hear the difference between like my different tones in my own voice, different notes. I tried to play the bass, failed, tried to play the keyboards, also failed. Cannot generate music, but can definitely enjoy music. I'll leave the sounds for this part. I sound like an excited mouse. I don't know why I was so like shocked at this. Anyway, let's clean the supports. I was talking about Wicked. Wicked was the first musical I saw in person. It was a gift ticket and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then I went again a few times. I won't tell you how many, but I did also take my family. I did not take my partner yet. So yeah, we have to go again soon. Luckily, there is a train from where I live to London. So this is a very real possibility to go many more times, I mean. And about the movie, I did enjoy the movie a lot. I think the women's voices are incredible. Cynthia's voice especially. I have it in I have lots of her songs in my musicals playlist, which is my longest playlist. I love all kinds of music, especially rock, punk and musicals. But musicals is the one that I keep on repeat. Maybe I will tell you why soon, but let's go to the next step. So this is all the leftovers we're going to use later. Let's go to the next step now, which is sculpting. For this next step, we're going to use green stuff, and I have to warn you, I hurt my hand and it will look pretty dramatic in the first part of the video. As days went by, I was a little more brave and I changed my plasters to something less extreme. But at this point, I was still very scared. It was not nice. I was doing the dishes and I was washing a glass and I was too enthusiastic about it. And then, because I'm very brave when it comes to other people's bodies, like I used to be a Red Cross volunteer. I don't mind helping people with, I don't want to like name anything because YouTube won't like it, but like I'm not easily impressed by other people's injuries. But when it comes to myself, like even a tiny thing, I faint. So I got hurt doing the dishes. Then I started screaming my partner's name and then I fainted on the stairs. Very me. And everything is okay now. It is healing. My pinky finger is not doing too well, but I think we'll get there. Like I said, it was a very small thing, but I don't deal very well with it when it's myself. Doing sculpting while you have this kind of hurt hand, not a great idea. Not a great idea. But I couldn't, like, I took it some time off, but I really wanted to finish this project, and yeah, in the end I decided to cut some of my extra ideas, simplify it, but release it. For sculpting the hat, I had two main goals. One was to get rid of some of the really bad like support marks at the bottom of the hat, but I didn't want to reprint it because then what would I do with this hat? So yeah, trying to reuse. I try to smooth that surface. We'll do kind of a rough sculpt and then sandpaper it. And for the top of the hat, I wanted to add some folds so it will look a little more similar to the hat version we see in the movies. And talking about the movies, let me give you my opinion. I have only seen the first one. The second one has just come out, I think 2 days ago. Haven't seen it yet. So the first time I saw Wicked in the theater, my English wasn't very good, so I didn't understand the full story. Like I could follow what was happening, but not all the detail, and especially not the political side of Wicked, which I found very well presented in the movies. And I think that's probably what I liked the most. I really, I don't want to say enjoyed, because I don't know if the word is enjoyed, but appreciated the opening and the image of Elphaba. This is something I cannot speak about from experience because I am not a black woman, but I can see how this specific green woman portrayed by a black actor is shown as this monster, as this angry person, someone to be like scared of. And I thought that was, yeah, I was very impressed by that. It kind of took me by surprise how strongly I reacted to that. At the same time, this is the political climate we are living in, so yeah, I think a very necessary discussion about that. There have been plenty of videos that review the movie and the books and the play, so I'm not gonna go into like my analysis, but I did want to point out this scene, the opening scene with the flags, the colors. I found it, because I am so easily overstimulated, I found it a little too colorful, but this is obviously very, very personal. And I found Cynthia Erivo super sweet and yeah, adorable interpretation of the character. And Glinda, Ariana Grande as Glinda was surprisingly funny. I wasn't very familiar with Ariana, and now I can't wait to see more movies with her, more comedy movies with her, because I think she has incredible like timing and expressions. When I went to the theater, Fiyero was played by an actor that was covered in tattoos. I thought it was he was great, so my Fiyero will always be the theater Fiyero. Sorry. But yeah, that's basically it for the movie, my opinions on the movie. I have so much more to say, but I'm not going to, because this is a crafting video. Okay, so for the next step, we're going to paint the hat, and then we're going to paint the eyes, and then we're going to paint the symbol. I tried to use this primer for the hat. It was very liquid. I don't know if I did something wrong. I left it here in case you can see what I did wrong. Like, are you supposed to do anything else with it? It seems very, very thin. So then I just switched to acrylics. And because the base was green, and this is not a reason, but yeah, for some reason I decided to paint the hat first dark green and then black. Once I started painting, I realized that the sculpting was so bad, especially with all the folds. But yeah, my hand was not willing to do any more sculpting at this point. So yeah, I painted the hat green. I gave it 2 layers, I think, and then 2 extra layers of black. Painting this was actually one of the most satisfying things I had done for a project. Especially, yeah, the green stuff parts were so fun to paint, and even though the hat looks all like imperfect, I think that's a good fit for the movie prop. Because it's made of fabric and it's supposed to look a bit like old and tatty. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this result. And in an ideal world, I would have made this entire hat in 3D. Maybe that's something I can try. I know there is what is it called? An effect, the thingy that makes planes act like fabrics. So maybe I can design like a cone and then put some fabric on top of it. I will ask Arthur Floor. Maybe she's watching this like, oh no, I'll go offline for a week. It will take me more than a week. Anyway, let's finish the hat, and the next step will be the eyes and the symbols. I thought I was going to do it in this section. I'm actually going to do it in the next one. Okay, so for the eyes, I'm going to do first a thin layer of dark green. I had painted this while I was painting the hat, but then we're going to add a layer of white, and another, lots of thin layers. It's always the best way to go. And we're gonna go like from the back to the front. So it's gonna be white, green, black, and then the little 2 white dots that I love so much. One of the things I could have done better is make sure I'm not painting outside of the area I'm supposed to. When I was doing the base, the dark green base for the eyes, I went a little too far, and then I was scared to use acetone to remove the paint, because to this day I still haven't tested the acetone on this filament. I'm pausing now because I'm thinking, should I go upstairs and test it? But I am trying to release this video today, so maybe next time. We'll find out next time. If you notice that my brush looks a little weird, it's because I, again at some point, enthusiastically doing something, I broke it. And I love this brush a lot. This is a golden maple brush. It's the thinnest I own, and I decided to fix it with some paper tape, I think, very quickly in the moment when I had to use it. And then I just kept it like that. The paper got wet while I was cleaning the brush, and now it's wonky. I call it my wonky brush, but it's actually really good to have a brush that can do this. You'll actually see what I mean later as this brush gets wonkier and wonkier. But basically there are 2 parts, a very short part that is close to the bristles and then the longer part, and it is attached, and it kind of I don't know how to explain it. It has an angle, and you can determine the angle for when you're painting, so it's really easy if you need to like paint from one direction to change to the other direction. I think I'm gonna start breaking my brushes. Now I think I want to fabricate a brush that can do this as a feature. Don't know how I'm going to do it yet, what kind of connection will be required, something mechanical. I will see what's available. But yeah, I'm thinking of a word. There is a word for like when you put the camera on this little ball, metallic ball thing, and it can like rotate in different angles. There is a word for it, but yeah, gimbal? Something like that. I'll keep you updated on my invention. Okay, so I painted the eyes. I decided to put more eyelashes than usual. I also realized just now that I didn't do the glasses, so I will have to go upstairs and I will test the acetone since we're at it. I will report soon. But yeah, for the painting, usually I do lots of layers and I do lots of going back and painting, trying to fix things by painting over again. So if you try something and it doesn't look great, don't worry, you can paint over it, or maybe you can use acetone to remove the paint. If you're working on a regular vinyl pony, yes, baby, kitty is, well, I think they're hungry. Then you can just use acetone to remove any paint. Just be careful where you use it. And now for the final touch for the eyes, I'm doing the 2 reflections, which are my brand. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay, so we're not going to do the symbol yet, because first we need to do the hair. Sorry. So there are 3 different types of hair that I personally use for restorations, and I think most people use too. You have the nylon hair, which is very thin and soft, and I call it milk silk sometimes. Then you have acrylic hair, which is a bit thicker, easier to work with. Well, depends. For some people it's easier to work with because it's thicker, and it's also harder, so you have to apply like hot water to make it keep in shape. And then you have this one. This is called, or at least I call it, I don't know. I call it Kanekalan. My mom said that's the name that she also used when she was young. And for Elphaba's hair, I thought it would be nice to mix, because I noticed in the movie that her hair is not entirely black, it's black with some brown. So I love this like rust color, so we're going to mix some black with brown. I'm going to use a little more black than brown. I'm going to make some braids. I love making braids, and I had a lot of fun doing this. I did some on camera, and then I took my bunch of hair because I had a lot of hair and I wanted her to have a big mane, and well, the tail ended up not being so big, but the mane is very fluffy and beautiful. And I was thinking about braids, and I was remembering when I went with my school to a tropical place, and I got braids done. You know, there is also like an episode on How I Met Your Mother when Robin supposedly goes to Argentina. This wasn't in Argentina, and it's not something that is done in Argentina. I am from Argentina. This was, I don't know why I didn't say, this was actually Mexico, and I got the braids done. And then when I came back, did I get the braids? Oh no, I misremember actually. You know when you have a memory that is, and then you realize this is not exactly what happened. I got some braids. I got something like 10 braids because I couldn't afford more. And another girl spent a ton of money and got all her hair braided. And when we went back, I kept my braids because I really liked them. And she, I think, was very self-conscious about it, and the kids were probably mocking her. So she removed them the next day. So it was a big investment for a very short-lived hairdo. I don't know if this is still done in Mexico. This was quite a while ago, and you could get like little, what is it called, seashells at the end of the braid, and it will make lots of noise. Also in that trip, the first day on that trip, we went into like the ocean, and as soon as I got into the water, a wave hit me and my bikini went all the way up to my neck. So that was a great first day. But then luckily a group of us went on expeditions, and we went to see the cenotes, you know, the holes in the ground that connected different places underwater, and it was supposed to be the underworld for the Aztecs and the Mayans. And we saw Chichen Itza. It was great. But yeah, a bit of a challenging first day. But yeah, I don't know how I ended up talking about this in a Wicked Pony video. But let's take a look at what I'm doing here on screen. When I was thinking how to place the hair in the head of the pony, because these holes being 3D printed, Regina, Arthur Floor, made the holes a bit bigger so I wouldn't have to like rehair with the needle. So that presented the challenge of, okay, how do I put the braids into the holes? And first I tried burning the ends. That's why you will see a lighter here and there, but that didn't work out. My room smelled awful for a long time, and the hair didn't really do what I wanted. I thought it might get like easy to manipulate, but no, it just burned and frizzled and disappeared. So instead I found some wire. I love this wire. I use it for so many things. It's like a flexible wire. So inspired by some restorer's technique of tying. This is gonna take a while because there are many difficult words that I have to join together for the sentence. Some restorers, instead of using glue to hold the hair in place, they put a little tie. They tie a knot inside, like they pass the hair, tie a knot inside, and then pull the hair, and that makes it really, really secure. Like no kid or no grown-up will be able to like remove that hair easily. Here I'm basically doing the same, but with wire. Pass 2 braids in, connect the 2 braids with wire, pull, and they should be secure for a long, long time. And I don't have to use glue, and it's actually really easy to remove, because if you want to pull them out, you just push them in, cut the wire, and they're out. This also gave me the idea that if I ever do like molds or restoration kits without using actual vintage ponies, but my own like customs, and like I was saying at the beginning, some people have difficulty with the rehairing tools, then this is another alternative to creating those kits. You could have the hair already like prepared, and then all you have to do is like push them through the holes and tie them on the other side or something like that. So I think this is, yeah, it's a technique with potential here. So I just kept placing the braids, and you will see the result soon. I actually did all these braids while watching TV, and yeah, it was really nice to do braids again. I hadn't done braids since I was a teenager, and I don't know why, I find it, yeah, very relaxing and very nice. I really wish my hair looked like this or could do this. I have very few hair, very thin hair. I look like Gollum. So yeah, not a possibility, but maybe I can add some. And I was also thinking it would be really nice for a future pony to do braids in 3 different colors. So if you have any ideas for ponies that could look good with 3 colored braids, please let me know. I would also love to know your opinion on what the pony looks like here, and whether you would have done smaller braids. I didn't want to like commit to doing a lot of them and then regretting it midway and not finishing, so I went for this size. Some of them were bigger than others, and I used those, like the uneven ones are mostly in the tail. The tail ended up looking not as abundant, which I don't like, but it is what it is, and I really want to show you what I have achieved so far. Which actually makes me realize that maybe some of these longer videos when I'm struggling with like health stuff or things like that, maybe I can do them in parts. I never thought about that. Okay, so for the tail, I'm going to do something similar. Connect all the braids and then pass them through the tail hole. I had to remove some of the supports inside the pony, but yay, more little trees, more happy little trees. And yes, that is the symbol. Some of it, I had to do this part first because I did the symbol in different stages. Ignore it, don't look at the symbol. But for the braids, so yeah, they got stuck. I couldn't let them through. Luckily, I didn't get hurt this time with the, what is it called, the reverb? No, the return of, what am I saying? This thing that happens now. That scared me and the cats, and yep, everything is okay. That did not work as expected, but it still worked because the tail seems pretty secure in place. So all what I did afterwards was just push some of the braids inside using my little puncher tool, and I tested it a little bit, and it seemed like it's fine, like it will hold. I don't want to add glue to it. At this point, I didn't want to use glue almost on anything. I ended up using some later, but that's okay. It's only for the outside. I don't know why. I don't want the innards of the pony to have glue, but the outside is fine. The innards still have some supports. I love saying innards. Yeah, here are some more that I collected in my little box. For this part, we are going back in time a little bit, and we're going to paint the symbol. Now, if you know me by now, do you think A, I drew the symbol on paper and then traced it on the pony? B, I planned in my head what I would do and then try to draw it with some other material and then paint? Or C, I freehanded it? Of course, it is C. Also, don't you think free-handed, like handed, the past of hand should sound different, like hand? I don't know why it sounds so weird to say handed. Anyway, I decided to draw a hat, Elphaba's hat, and I don't know why I did it this way. I was kind of channeling vintage G1 symbols and because I have been working on lots of them for my book. Yes, the book. It is coming soon, I think. There are pre-orders now on my site. I don't know if Anyway, I have been working a lot on symbols, redrawing symbols to add to the book, and lots of them are kind of more wobbly than you would expect. They're not like realistic, so I thought let's do a wobbly hat. And yeah, here it is. I forgot to actually apply some glossy varnish on top or some other varnish to try to make the paint look the same. There are a few layers, it's because it's painted also on the printed material. If you are doing this, if you're painting over filaments, I would definitely recommend adding some varnish or at least some Mr. Super Clear. Now, I am recording now in the afternoon. As I said before, I forgot about the glasses for Elphaba, so I run upstairs, grab my favorite wire in the world, and in a dark green color, and I quickly try to put together some glasses. The first ones were so tiny, but now they are my baby fakey Susie. Baby Susie is actually a fakey from Brazil. She was made after the factory, the Top Toys partner called Estrela closed in Brazil. And looking at her eyes, I really felt like she needed glasses because her eyes looked like my eyes before I realized I needed glasses. Then for the second attempt, I made the glasses wider, and looking at the results now in the editing time, I realized that I made them wrong because the glasses should go like the bridge should be high on one side and low on the other side. I'll remake this later, I promise. But now let's look at the results. Yeah! I'll show you the pony outside the box first. So here is our Elphaba in pony shape. 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! I have to say, I don't hate it. I actually really like it. Yeah, I really like. I can say it, right? I can say it because the main reasons why I like it is the pose that Arthur Lord made, the filament that the company made, and the hair that was a collaboration between the Kanekalan gods and me. So I am one of 4 creators in a way. Yeah, we put the hat in and we're gonna then place our Elphaba in the box. I was going to show you the results in the box first, but it's so dark in there, so I couldn't really get a good image, so we'll leave that for the end. Oh, actually, I look at the glasses now and they are not in the wrong position, but I'll still remake them so they look a little better. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry about the chaotic nature of my videos in general and this video in particular. And I'm also sorry, and this is why I left it at the end, that when I signed this box or when I wrote what this was, it's the worst handwriting I ever had in my life. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, thank you so much, especially to the patrons who allow me to do this. I was so excited to show you this pony, so I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear your opinions on this particular pony, on the use of the box, on what to do with the figure, and also on any ideas you might have for the next one, which is, well, not the next video, but the next pony we are going to do at some point, which is Glinda. Thank you again, and I will see you very soon for the next one. Have a great week. Bye bye!